The fire fades, the embers die out. Burning warmth of self-sacrifice wasn't enough. So ends the main game of Dark Souls 3. Kentaro Muira is dead, and will never be a burning, resplendent masterpiece like Berserk. But that's a bit of a truism, because of course there won't. Kentaro Muira will never himself draw the artwork and write the story about a broken man who seeks to reclaim himself, weighing his need for revenge against his need to heal from his trauma. There will never be two characters who share the same relationship as Guts and Casca, who say the same things and share the same glances. They'll never again storm the same castles or lose the same parts of themselves. But in the same way, there'll never be a game like Dark Souls, try as we might. The deluge of Souls-like games breaks against the shore, games with deliberate combat, medieval aesthetic, and grim, mysterious lore that will never be Dark Souls. The fire has faded. This is neither an indictment of those games nor an enshrining of Dark Souls, although in times of stress I'll always seek to restore my flame in that game's hallowed halls. When I say there'll be no game like Dark Souls, no movie like Blair Witch, no book like House of Leaves, and no manga like Berserk, I mean this about all art. All art is a unique construction, a world its creators forge, we peer into through our TV screens and well-worn pages. This makes it all the more sad when the guardians of those worlds die. When a person of great charity and goodness dies, feel a pang that their positivity has left the world. Their work will be continued. Someone else will take up the cause. Art, however, the torch isn't passed the same way, at least not cleanly. At the end of Dark Souls 3, I returned twice more. The first a journey, the second a funerary procession. For in the Ringed City, we watch the flame of Dark Souls reduced to ash. It's a goodbye as we fight Gale, as we reduce him to cinders in the hollow bowels of the end of the world. Is every Artorias-like sword swing a fond farewell? It's no secret that Artorias resembles Guts, Andre the Blacksmith resembles Godo, and the brand of sacrifice inspired the Dark Sign, as the wayward embers of Berserk's masterpiece are not a past torch. Burning threads of inspiration light up new pyres, new masterpieces are formed in the crucible of art. Artists tread this chain of causality, inspiration guiding them and bringing them warmth to go create, just as their predecessors did. After Gale's body hits the ash and he fades, the victory text shows up on screen and an arbitrary number of souls are added to our vestibule, receive an item, Dark Soul. The liminal space that follows what feels like the ultimate ending of the game, where the game still continues on, we take this reagent to a painter who needs his hues to finish her masterpiece. The fire has faded. She'll use the ashes to paint the next world. Gale wore the red hood of a slave knight, and slave he was to his task. I struggle to contend my romantic view of the creation of art and the weight of labor placed upon the mangaka and video game developers who make that art that I love so much. Although I will paint a romantic picture of this burning flame of art and inspiration, the edges of this painting will be tinged with this rot. Because as long as artists are put against a grindstone of endless labor to produce commodified, serialized art, there will always be more unfinished works, always more pieces whose quality drops off, whose writing declines. Berserk wasn't one of those, but I wonder if Muira had taken less breaks, if he had been worked harder. Berserk wouldn't have stayed the amazing story we remember it as, would have faced the same fate as Bleach. Any other piece of work that lost the weekly cycle. I can only imagine Muira, overworked and haggard, with more story left to tell, his every pen stroke a tired heave of dragon-slaying iron, the armor of his success bleeding him dry. Although he's gone, his work remains. The lack of a conclusion doesn't steal away the warmth I felt as Guts found company in the Band of the Hawk, the feeling of reading the Eclipse for the first time, the awe at every panel of beautiful art. But I fear what waits in the catacombs. In his absence, we'll see a hungry scrabbling for unfinished drawings and secret manuscripts, We'll beg for more and never be sated because it just can't be over. We'll rot and starve and go mad hoping for an end that will never come. But I see a reflection of that end in Dark Souls. I see it in Black Clover and in Cloud's Buster Sword. I see it in the spread pages of Chainsaw Man and the guiding Fae of Zelda. And when Sturga swings her massive greatsword and rends horse and rider in twain, it feels like Berserk and it looks like Berserk. But it isn't Berserk. The ringing of the artist's anvil echoes far and wide, and its reverberations promise remembrance, but I'll promise you something myself. There'll never be a piece of art like Berserk again. And that's okay. Fire fades and a fire burns anew. We use the ashes to paint new worlds. The great artist is dead, but his art will live forever. We won't let it go hollow.